Well, hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Neil Cook, the Psychic Chef, and today I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the Blackstone E-Series 22-inch electric tabletop grill. Now, Blackstone has been around in the USA for a long time now, and it's only just creeping over to the United Kingdom. This is the first one I've seen in the United Kingdom, the E-Series electric version of it, although there's a lot of YouTube videos out there on YouTube with regards to this version I'm going to review now. However, I haven't seen it being reviewed in the UK yet. This is the dual zone one, so stay with me. I'm going to unbox it now and then we can go through the cooking process as well. So here we have the base of the E-Series. There's your heating elements. It's dual control. These are thermostats, and once they touch the base of the ceramic top, which you're going to do your griddle, your cooking on, then they'll define whether it's at the right temperature or not. We'll remove the packaging which is protecting them. Something in the way. There we go, that's a lot better. Touch control, you press and push to switch on each side, so just like your dual climate control in your car, this is dual climate. You can set this side at one temperature, this side at the other. I know the American version is in Fahrenheit, so I'm hoping this is going to be in Celsius. Either way, it's not going to be a problem. Now this is your griddle base, and these thermostats here will actually touch here and here and tell you each zone and what the actual temperature is. These two lugs here, that one and that one, actually sit into a little slot here and here. Sorry, this one and this one. And there's a little knack in just sliding them in like that, and then that sits that down nice and snug. We'll then get rid of this. Ooh, static, did you hear that? And there's a little box here and I'm not sure what's in there. I know they're sending me some utensils separate from Blackstone, so I'm not sure what them are. And this is the glass lid, and all this comes apart, so it's very good for easy cleaning. Slightly tempered, so it's got a tint to it as well. When you're doing your hamburgers on there and you put your cheese on and close this lid down, it gives you an almost airtight seal so you can melt that cheese. One thing they do say is under no circumstances do you use metal utensils on this at all. So what I'm going to do now is unwrap the power cord, take the static out of me because everything I touch I keep getting a shock, and then I'll get it plugged in and we'll power it up. So the little box contained this grease trap. This sits on the back just here, and it just self-supports on two little lugs there. And when we lift this up, you can actually see that the grease runs down here through this little slot and then falls into that grease trap. It said that these sides are slightly running towards the middle, and you can actually feel that only ever so slightly. So whilst your food's cooking on here, any juices and waters which are released from the meat, especially chicken and beef burgers, then these juices will run to the middle and then down there. Because this is a ceramic base and it's very slippy and smooth, what you do find, or what I've seen in some of the videos, is people are moving the food around and they're sliding bits of the food sliding through there, and they're losing it into the grease trap. Right, so that doesn't come out until you take that door off. So to wash this, if you needed to, then obviously this just lifts straight out of there like that, and this would then, if you needed to wash it, just lift it straight up and then unhook it from them clips which are there, which is hard to do with one end. Right, so that's it removed once again, and like I say, there's your grease trap just there in the back. So you've got two little corners here which stop this from sliding about and backwards. Them there hook into these two once again. And once it's sat in there, that just sits down. And like I say, everything slides that way towards the back. And just to put this lid back on, that just sits into there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to fire it up so you can see it light up and work. Excuse the back of my head. And it should make a noise, which is there. That's your Blackstone logo. Let's just lower this camera down a touch. And it's press and hold. So it is in Celsius, so this is the UK version. And it's flash and set temperature. Let's just lift that up so you can see that. So minimums is 90 and the highest setting is 260, and that in Fahrenheit is 500. So if we were going to set this side to a warming area, bearing in mind it's not working yet, as in we haven't set it. So if I was going to cook my food on this side and then transfer it over to keep warm, then I'd set this at a lower temperature. So once I press that, these counters will slowly move across the warmer and hotter it gets until it gets to this side, and the last 3 bars will show that colour orange. So I can feel that getting warm now. And the same with this side. If we were going to cook our steak on this side and then transfer it over while we cooked something else or let it rest, then we'd have a cooler zone. Press this side. Minimums are 90 Celsius, and then we can set this right up to 260, 500 Fahrenheit. So as it's shown there, that's now slowly going to climb until it gets to that right temperature. So that's getting warm now, and this obviously will get warmer. You can hear some clicking in there, and that's just the heating elements being switched on for the first time. In fact, I can see some smoke coming off, probably whatever's been on there. So as you can see, that's raised, it's raised again. And they say it can take up to 10 minutes for that to reach full temperature before you put your meats on there, or whichever food you're cooking. And then if we wanted to change this temperature, it's not going to do anything if we turn the dial. We would have to press it once. It asks to set the temperature. We can then set it to another temperature and hit that again, and it's now saying temperature set. And I can feel the heat coming off that as well as that one. And if we were to take it down to 90, it's going to already have reached that temperature already. So if I set temperature, as you can see, it's one orange marker away from being at full temperature. and the temperature being 90 Celsius, which there it is. And to switch it off, press and hold, and that switches off. Obviously the other side is still going. The good thing is, it's a little safety thing, is it's telling you the temperature's still hot. So if you were to switch it off, that's a unit switched off, but it's also telling you that the temperature is still hot. So hopefully you wouldn't come along and put your hand there or leave something on there which could damage the surface or the item itself. So what we're going to do now, the next part of this video will be cooking something to show you how versatile, how easy to use, and hopefully create some nice dishes so you can see it in action. So what I'm going to do is bring this up to temperature. I'm going to cook some breakfast bacon on it. I've set it to 200 Celsius and it's slowly creeping up now, and I'll bring you back once it reaches the right temperature. So I'm going to use an extra special bacon, which is labelled that from my local supermarket. This is dry cured bacon. You will find the temperature slightly drop because it's not fully room temperature. Now this is labelled as an indoor-outdoor grill by Blackstone. The only thing which is coming off here at this moment in time is steam, because most meats, especially in the UK, have water added to them, whether it's to gain weight and sell you a heavier product, or it's just the way the industry works. So now what I'm going to do, because they're not sizzling how I'd like them to, if I hit the button once, I can now turn them up. I'm going to take them up to max 260, which is 500 degrees Fahrenheit. As I said at the beginning, you must only use rubber nylon utensils on this. You cannot use metal. Once you scratch this surface, that's it, it's damaged for. And you'll always find that the non-stick side of it will not work there. As this releases its fats and its water, as you can see here, you can automatically just brush them all the way down that drain into the trap, the excess fat which you normally get, which promotes healthy cooking. So I'll bring you back when we're ready to flip. So we're going to flip them over, and we may flip them more than once just to get a perfect cooked slice. Maybe just a trifle too hot here. My partner does like a very crispy piece of bacon. We'll just bring this temperature down a touch. I don't want to cremate them before they're actually cooked. What we can do, because it's non-stick, is just push all these burnt bits over to the grease trap. When it comes to cleaning this, all you need is some water. You just pour it on the surface when it's cooled down a little, and then that'll actually lift all the debris off the bottom of the pan, the griddle, and then you just, with a paper towel, push it all the way down this hole here. The bonus of having dual control is if one half of it cooks quicker than the other, you can always lower the temperature on the other half and use it as a cooling area. And there we go, all the debris straight down into the trap there at the back. I'm cooking in my dining area right now, and there's no smoke coming off. Yes, there's a smell, but the dining area's open planned next to the kitchen, so we would always have some form of smell in this area where we cook and eat, as you would with a barbecue or a pan. With your fat, then obviously the fat oil in the pan, that would smoke, and then you get everything within the room smelling of that. This isn't a smoked back bacon, it's just a dry cured bacon, so there shouldn't be much smell other than the normal smell from normal cooking. Just look how easy it is to clean this whilst you're still cooking. Half of your work is already done when it comes to finished cooking. It's spotless already. I did hear in some of the reviews which were from the USA, our friends across the pond, that the single version of this, the single zone one, did have some hot spots and cold spots. What I haven't heard is that the dual one has that same issue, whether it is an issue or not. Up to now, everything seems to be cooking as normal. And what we'll do next after this is burgers, and then we'll try the sausages on it for that kind of cooking, and then we'll do our steak and see if we can get that perfect sear. So my partner's got her portion of the bacon. What I'm going to do now is just turn this temperature down and switch this side off. There we go. Whilst I'm waiting for mine to come up to how I like it, all I'm going to do is just get rid of that excess. What I want you to see is how easy it is to keep this clean. I know some people don't even put it through the washer and clean it. It's not recommended to be put in the dishwasher, this tray. People suggest only using a very mild dish soap, a detergent. Some people give it a rinse with cold water until it all steams up, and then they wipe it down with paper towels just to get rid of the residue. There's no reason to season this at all, because it's not like the Blackstone grill, which has to be seasoned first in order to stop the non-stick. This is non-stick straight out of the box. So I'm going to enjoy these lovely slices of bacon, and I want you to stay with me and join me for the next recipe, or should I say the next cooking. And there we go, nice and clean. You would have heard me say at the beginning of the video that Blackstone were sending out a new griddle set for us. These used to come in a 3-piece set, but this is the new version which they're now doing. And this has just arrived today, which I was waiting for. I'm going to have trouble getting it out. So just to show you before I shred the box, the 2 spatulas, there's a scraper like one, and then the tongs as well. It is dishwasher safe. It's good for induction and non-stick compatibilities, heat resistant, and it's nylon construction. Not silicone but nylon, which is a form of plastic. Let me just open this up now. Don't forget, do not eat. So here we have the tongs, very robust, a little bit of play on them there. The bottom half of them have not teeth but notches in, so you can grab your sausages when you're lifting them off the grill. That should lock them shut, and that will allow them to open and lock shut. So we have them, stick them on there. Then we have the scraper, again by Blackstone. There's the logo, if you can see that in this light. Obviously that will allow you to scrape all your debris from the front of the grill right to the back. And then we have 2 spatulas, as you can see there, with the logo Blackstone. I think they need a wash before use, and that will allow me to saute my onions, shuffle everything around and then lift the hamburgers up whilst cooking them. I'm going to give them a wash. They just look a little bit dusty and marked, probably been sat on some shelf prior to packaging. But that's in there. That's the new version. They did initially do the 3 tool set, and this is the 4 tool set. The scraper, the tongs and the dual spatulas, so you can do your food. One thing I wanted to mention, which you can use on these ceramic grills, is something called a bacon mat. You might have seen them, anyone who's into the bacon, as in baking a cake. These are silicone style mat, very strong and robust. They can withstand a temperature much higher than what this can put out. And if you didn't have your silicone tools, the ones, and you were only with the metal ones and you don't want to scratch the surface, then you can cook directly on top of this. Not only do Amazon sell this style one, they sell a mesh one, which is that one, and they just come like that and only a few pounds to buy, and you can again cook straight on top of that. I know Blackstone do a large grill pad, and you might have seen it if you're familiar with Blackstone and you use it a lot. They do a silicone orange pad which sits in there, and then you just remove the pad and wash it. But there's also a Teflon style one which you can get as well on Amazon. And even if you're just using one just to do an egg or something which is more delicate, you can use it on there. That's a smooth surface, that's not so smooth. But you can get these on Amazon, and I think they do a pack of 5 for something like £3. And they're really good in the oven as well. So what we're going to do is get this up to high temperature, 260, 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to do burgers. All I'm going to show you today is the sear on the burger, which is similar to searing a steak. I could spend a long time in this video showing you all kinds of things to cook, but I think you've got the picture. So let me just get my burgers. So as you can see there, we're almost up to temperatures, a couple of hours off. The burgers I'm going to use are just shop bought burgers. We're going to serve them with some bacon on top, just for that added crunch. And the bacon I bought is that mismatch cut one, where every slice is a different thickness, because all we're going to do is just chuck it on top of the burger as and when the meal's getting served up. I'll cook on both sides, and then obviously once one of the items is cooked, I'll reduce one side just to keep warm whilst we finish prepping the rest of the food. As you can see, it's extremely slippy, the surface, and this is what I spoke about in the beginning. Because it's a ceramic base, it's not like your normal Blackstone grill. It's a non-stick version, and I know we make our Blackstone grills non-stick by seasoning it, but this is just a different type of non-stick. Using the new tools from Blackstone, the tongs, the 2 spatulas and the scraper as well. Now what I have seen done with this is they stick it in the back here just to stop any food falling through, and as you can see there, that hole's now sealed. The juices will still flow out, but you won't lose your smaller food. Just to give you a tip when cooking, when something sticks, that means it's not seared, and when it releases, then obviously it's seared and it's got that golden coat on it. Works more in demonstration for your steak, your pork chops and your burgers. So this shouldn't take too long. Just get the hamburgers on there. And these are going to release a lot of juice, the fats as well as the water content. So now I've put the meats on, I can remove these gloves because all I'm going to do now is use the utensils. And this video isn't about how to cook, it's how the unit itself, the Blackstone E-Series 22-inch grill, works. It's not about the person doing the cooking and his capabilities and levels of skills. All I'm doing here is showing you how this unit works itself. As I said before, I'm cooking inside, so obviously this is sat on a table which isn't from Blackstone. It may not be level, everything seems to want to slide to the left, but that could be because I have wooden floorboards in my house and everything's just sliding slightly left. I'm going to keep rotating this bacon so it evenly cooks and doesn't burn. And I'll move it towards what I believe is the hot spots, which is this area. And at any time, if you want to remove that dirt, there it is there. You can quite easily leave in a nice clean area. And although you don't have to use oil, there's nothing stopping you from doing it. I noticed the tool set which originally came with this, or you could order with this, was only a 3-piece set, and this is a bonus item within there which is worth its weight in gold. There's the burgers flipped over. With a lovely sear on there, and this burger fat here I'm going to use for the onions. So I'm going to serve this up with a nice rainbow salad. Obviously the burgers will be in bread buns and I'll toast them on here as well. And the beauty about this thing is if one of the items or one area cooks quicker than the other, I should have put this bacon on first so the burgers are going to complete before that. I'll reduce one size down to minimums and then slide it across to keep warm. So these burgers I've got a lovely sear on them. Excuse me. The tomatoes are cooked, lovely. My peppers are nice and soft. And the bacon is sufficiently cooked, ready to go on top of the burgers. So I'll serve my partners up first, and then I'll come back to mine and cooking and toasting the buns. You can butter the base of your bun and then obviously toast them on here. I'm just going to put them down as they are. I'll still get the same effect. And then I'm going to top my burgers with some onion, some gherkin, and then some cheese on top, and then I'll bring the lid down. So my buns are almost toasted. And the good thing about searing these is it stops all the juices making it into a big dough ball. So we'll put some onions on the burgers. This is where it gets messy. And we'll put my bacon on my burger. Then a slice of tomato. Get my buns off so they don't go soggy. While they're really hot. The remaining onions on the base of the bun. And a good portion of cheese on top there. And we'll close this down. Just going to put some Heinz burger sauce on top of the base of my bun. How many people left? Ideally, if you put water in here around your burgers prior to doing that, you'll get a better melt with your burgers. But because they're very close to being overcooked, I'm going to take them off now. Yep. Over easy. And what we can do now, whilst it's hot, get rid of all the waste. Into the trap. And And all we need to do is just empty that trap once we're all done. Because I've reduced the heat on here, if I add some water now, it'll allow everything to lift up. And this should start sizzling and break down. All the fats and residue and debris on the base. And like I've shown you before, with a wet paper towel, you're there to lift all this straight off. And we'll switch this off. And this side too. And all we need to do now is just wipe up the excess. Be careful because this place is extremely hot. You don't want you burning your fingers like I just have. It is recommended you allow it to cool a little bit more. And there we go. So guys, that's the E-Series 22-inch Blackstone electric grill, indoor and outdoor barbecue. As you've just watched, there's my salad with sweet chilli, tomato and pepper, and my wrinkled buns, which they were wrinkly prior to me using them. And that's the capabilities of the 22-inch Blackstone electric grill. I could spend a lot of time putting all kinds of foods on here and cooking them, but you get the gist of the idea. It's not about how I cook, but how this cooks. And I think I've shown enough in this video. If you like what you see, don't forget like and subscribe. You can follow my playlist, Spirit Medium Neil Cook, the Psychic Chef. And the playlist is, again, the Psychic Chef. Thank you for watching and have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.